welcome back to my channel. My name is Jumoke Omodin and I'm super excited to have you here today. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you 5 top tips that you need to consider before submitting your Chevening essay. I'm a Chevening scholar for the year 2025, currently studying at the University of Leeds. I am studying for a master's in climate futures, science, society and politics. Chevening Scholarship is a scholarship that is funded by the UK government that allows you emerging leaders or even experienced leaders to study here in the UK for any master's degree. As the deadline for the Chevening 2025 application draws closer, I want to share some 5 top tips that you should consider before submitting your essay. Before I had submitted my 2024 Chevening application, I had read a lot of PDF, watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I had mentors that were actively helping me go through my essay, and I was in like a lot of community where we share insights. So these views are from my experience and my research, and they also do not represent the views of the Chevening Scholarship. The first tip of the day is defining your why. Why are you applying for the Chevening Scholarship? By defining your why, it allows you to thoroughly reflect on why you're applying to the scholarship as a whole. Is it that you want to make impact in your community? You want to just advance your studies? Anything you want to do, you are allowed to choose why you are applying to that scholarship and really pursue that idea. So you have to reflect, and that reflection has to be very personal. Don't apply to scholarship to Chevening because you saw someone online apply to the scholarship and you thought, oh, let me also apply. Don't treat Chevening scholarship as just another scholarship that should add to the number of scholarship you're applying for so that they can choose you in any of the ones you submitted for. Chevening application is very personal. It's you telling your story, selling yourself, and really communicating in very short words. Have you seen the essay? The essay limit is 300 words. You don't have all the time in the world to communicate with the reviewer. You want to make sure that every sentence, every word counts. Don't compare your story to someone else's story and say, oh, this person applied to Chevening because they have 13 years of experience in the field. I think they're going to pick them. Don't undersell yourself before you even submitted. Chevening community is so diverse. Chevening can pick someone that literally has 2 years work experience, and then it can pick someone with 20 years work experience. So you really cannot tell who they are going to pick until you submit your application. And trust me, submit a brilliant, outstanding application. And always follow that thing that is telling you submit. And don't listen to that one that is saying, doesn't mean they're not going to pick me, because everybody goes through that phase, and that reflection allows you to really pinpoint, why am I submitting to this scholarship and why do I want to be chosen? Second tip is clarity of your essay. Please don't be everywhere. Because you work maybe for those in development space that are in maybe health, you're working in tax, you're jumbling everything together, mixing everything up. Don't do that. For your essay, really be clear on, if you're studying for health, from the beginning of your leadership essay, make sure that everything is related. The theme and everything is related till your career essay. Don't jumble everything up. In fact, now that the word count has been reduced to 300, you don't have any space to say to talk about an example in health, your experience in health, and then your experience in policy, and then your experience in agriculture. There's no space for that. Every word has to count. And from the beginning, in fact, you can talk about just one example, and really build on it. And most of our alumni have also advised that we can either use the STAR approach or the CAR approach to structure our essay and also to tell our story. And this is also important during an interview, because it's very easy to get lost in when you're like trying to communicate your impact or ideas to people. So the CAR approach or the STAR approach can be very helpful, and you can also read more about it. The third tip is alignment to the UK goals, because this scholarship is funded by the UK government. So whatever you want to do, you have to ensure that it's aligned with their thematic. This year, they are so kind and they've released the thematic areas that they're looking into, and so you can read it and really sell your essay or position yourself in areas that drive those efforts. Understand that for us in development space, one entity cannot do it alone. If the UK government is saying that what they want to do is on health for, let's say, 2025, you cannot come and be selling an idea in energy because they've already mapped out their priorities. So if you don't align with that priority, you're just missing an opportunity to really sell yourself well and align with the areas that they are going. And I'm so excited because the UK priority area is a little bit broad and it varies context to context. So what they are doing in Nigeria can vary from what they are doing in Ghana. So if you're going to apply to Chevening Scholarship, first read up on what the UK government is doing in your country, in fact till what they are doing in your city or what they are doing in your state. I remember that before I submitted my Chevening application, I knew what the UK government was doing in my city, the last time they paid a visit to the city, what they were doing, different things like that. You really have to align. It's not always about you as a person. It's really about how you can use yourself as an asset, as a tool to really drive collective effort forward. Number 4th tip. This is also a little bit relatable to the 3rd tip that I gave. It's about research and data. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a research driven person, but oh guys, crash that. You have to do research. You have to read. Just like I said at the beginning, that you cannot treat Chevening essay or Chevening scholarship as any other type of scholarship out there, that you're just going to turn in your essay and then you're going to review and pick you. It goes really deeper. Alignment. What is like the research? What are they doing? What have they done in the past? Where are the past achievements? The people that have studied your course, related course, where are they? How much investment has gone in between Nigeria and the UK? Where can you contribute? You need data, and it also includes reading policy reports, reading reports on the UK government websites. They have so much details that you can catch up on. Even things that have happened before you even start working in your own space, you can catch up on it, and then you can really streamline on where you want to make impact and come in as a person. Alignment is the key. It's really important that you read, you check on areas and then find that intersection or that alignment between your essay, your individuality, and where their priority is. So ensure that you have caught up on their past progress. For me, I follow their Instagram and I follow their LinkedIn. That's UK Nigeria and then UK Nigeria on Instagram and on LinkedIn. And then I check all those pictures that they will post of stakeholders beside each other, and then you will just scroll and pass. Read the caption. What are they doing? What did they go to that state to do? Sometimes the UK might not directly be in your community, but it might be in like a geographical zone. So let's say maybe Northwest. What are they doing in Northwest? You read up, you get the data, how much investment have gone in and out of your state, how much your state has even added in value. There are some states that are really developing states, they don't have a lot to contribute economically, and maybe you can position yourself to want to change that kind of contest. So, and one of the things I've also noticed is that people like waste so much space to kind of give different example of my networking, my this, my that. It's really about, you can add a little bit of data to back it up. If you are talking about trade and investment opportunity, you cannot be talking with just mere quotes. You can use facts, data from even their own websites, things that they've forgotten. You can go and regurgitate everything back and just use it to solidify your own application. One more important tip might be to always follow your mind. I remember before I submitted my essay, I was there editing and adding this final touch. I had followed the STAR approach, the CAR approach, and the advices from different community and alumni, and I felt like I read my essay and it sounds so plastic, like, oh, just straight to the point. It's not really sounding like me. So I remember before I submitted, my mind kept telling me those things that I had that were my story, that I should include it. And I remember my leadership story had an entire paragraph on my story before I even went into the leadership leadership example. I added this quote that was formed by me, 2025 Jumoke. It was a quote talking about the greatest crisis in humanity might not be the climate crisis, and it will be the regret that we did not take action when we had a chance. And it was my quote. So all these things were like my personal touch that I added before submitting my essay, and I'm really grateful I did. So always follow your mind. You never know how lucky you might get, and also understand that reviewers are human beings and your story might just connect with that person. So try as much as possible to try. Anyways, hi, this brings me to the end of the video. I hope you found it helpful, and I wish you the best as you submit your essay. And if you get in, please do connect with me in the UK. I will be waiting. Bye.